And welcome back to Little Cuts, our weekly mini-sode where we dig into the things that we've been, I just believe, watching recently. I'm Terry.
And I'm tired. Slash,
Ugh.
I'm Mary Beth. And we've got a lot to talk about this week, actually, that's not Sundance, which is very exciting. We are talking a 30 Rock sketch come to life, cosmic horror anime, Among Us in the Real World, cults, A Boy, His Teddy, and His Goblins, Edgar Allan Poe, and Daddy Devon Sawa.
Daddy Devon Sawa.
He really... I won't go into it now because then I won't be able to stop. But I want to hear about this 30 Rock sketch come to life.
All right. Way back in 2008, Season 2, Episode 11 of 30 Rock, there was an episode that was basically like making fun of Survivor and making fun of reality TV. And the episode was called MILF Island. And it was about this fictional...
No, you did not. You did not watch that show.
And because of this MILF Island show, and seeing on Twitter that there is a new show on TLC of all places that's also playing on Discovery Plus, which I got 6 months free for, and I signed up just for this. I've seen the first 3 episodes of MILF Manor.
Wow. We're really starting this fucker off with a bang,
You know,
baby.
we sure as fuck are. And let me tell you, so I'm guessing you've heard of MILF Manor?
Oh,
you know what it's about?
I've watched clips. Yes. I think I know what it's about. You should tell me because I'm cobbling it together off of the internet without doing any active research. So what I have are like bits and pieces of information. You should probably actually tell me what it is, so I'm not just like, yeah, I saw some GIFs on Twitter.
Oh, what you're probably thinking is probably what it is, if not worse. in actuality, it is the touching story of a number of older women who are single moms who like to apparently date younger men. And so they go to this resort in Mexico to hook up with younger men. And we introduce all of the women. And then they have all the guys start to pour in, and they open up the wall to show them. And all the younger guys are the sons of all the rest of the moms. And it gets worse. The very first challenge that they have to do in this entire show is they blindfold the moms and they have them feel the abs of all of the men. Listeners, this is why you need to be...
Is that a real fucking thing that you just said to me right now? Do you like my onesie?
I do love your onesie. Oh my goodness.
This is why you need to be a patron. You can see
seriously, y'all. Like, you might, if you're listening to this, you would have just heard silence. But Mary Beth is really giving us a lot to think about right now. I'm like lost my train of thought. That onesie is phenomenal. That onesie's phenomenal. But yes, they have. The challenge is they have to blindly feel their son's shoulders, abs, chest, whatever, shirtless, of course, to determine which one is their son. The second challenge in the second episode, there's a wall of secrets where the moms and the kids write secrets and they put them on a little card. And they put them up on this board, and they have to determine which secret belongs to their son or their mom. And the secrets are like, I had an orgy with seven women, is one of the secrets. Another one of the secrets is, I had sex with my son's best friend. These are all the secrets on the wall. Yeah. The third challenge in the third episode is the moms and sons have to put on a dance routine that describes quote unquote passion and desire.
Um, we're doomed. That's worse than I thought. It's way worse. It's way worse.
At one point in this routine, one of the sons is literally doing push-ups with his face over his mom's ass. So, the boys run an age from 20 to 30. The women from like early 40s to I think the oldest woman is 59. And the youngest boy is 20. Not even old enough to drink in the States. And I'm pretty sure some of these boys are gay because they seem more interested in each other than they do these women.
Iconic. That's the show I want. That's the show I want.
This
falling in love at MILF Manor, but you don't fall. It's men falling in love with each other.
Yes. This show is objectively bad. Like, it is objectively bad. The production design is terrible. The way some people are in dark while the rest of them have like a giant spotlight on them. Like, this is not Bravo.
It's
this
TLC?
Is not. Yeah.
That's so fucking funny. That's TLC too. Like
it's
the
just learning channel.
They're trying to jump on the Bravo. They're trying to do the Bravo stuff. They're trying to have their own like Love Island. But MILF Manor. That's what you decided to go with.
The best part though,
Jesus
is the confessionals that are obviously filmed later. Like, there is no continuity here. There is no continuity. There's one of the boys has like kind of a mullet, and in his confessional, his hair is it's short, it's done up differently. It doesn't change in the 3 episodes I've seen, so who knows when this is filmed. Another one looks like he has been growing scruff for a few weeks, whereas he's clean shaven on the show. I don't understand the continuity in here. I don't understand what is happening. It is the green screen work where they have like the confessionals and they put like paradise behind them is absolutely terrible to the point that you can actually see kind of green highlighted on one of the guy's hairs. Like, this is bad. This is objectively
Daddy Zaslav,
bad.
come get your girls. What is happening?
Seriously, it's not good.
Wow.
One of the women talks to another woman saying that she has to know the size of her son's dick, right? She must know her son is hung.
Is this a social experiment? Like, is it a joke?
I don't even know what the point is. There's no money. To my knowledge, there's no money involved. We're 3 episodes in. The 4th episode is dropping. Well, by the time this episode is out, it will be out. And they're finally starting to cut people, but they haven't.
Oh, I was going to say, like, have we eliminated people yet?
There's been one awkward kiss where this guy who obviously is not interested. I feel like the producers are like, you got to go out there and have this date with this woman. Because, like, there's a point where it looks like they're going to kiss and he eats a carrot and then he tries to lean in to kiss her after he has a carrot. And I'm like, come on. Really? What is happening right now? It's a mess. It is an absolute mess of a show that I cannot stop watching. And I don't even like reality TV.
Welcome to my hell.
So yeah, MILF Manor.
All right. MILF Manor. Interesting.
A wild turn, I'm guessing. Cosmic horror anime?
Yeah, it could not be much different than what we're talking about. So this is Housing Complex C, which is a 4-episode, standalone limited anime horror series that it's from Adult Swim. You can watch it on HBO Max, but it's from Adult. It was on Adult Swim. It's 4 24-minute episodes, so it's pretty short. Steve and I watched it just as part of an evening of watching things over the weekend. But it takes place in Housing Complex C, shocking, and it's which is located on a pretty small island, a Japanese island. And it's kind of, quiet village life. There's a bunch of older people that live in this housing complex and a young girl named Kimmy. And this kind of illusion of not utopia, but it's got a little bit of domestic utopia feel to it. But
okay.
One day these these interns arrive, and they're basically, they're not stated to be Muslim, but you see them praying on prayer rugs for certain times throughout the day and things like that. So they're kind of coded Muslim characters, and they come as interns to work on like at one of the local, like in the area, and it becomes this like, there's like all this tension between like the old Japanese folks and the Muslim interns, and there's like a lot of stuff going on there that kind of shatters this reality of like perfection utopia. But then on top of that, there's also like fish creatures around and like weird stuff going on with like murder and gods. So it's got like, it's combining cosmic horror with like xenophobia, which makes a lot of sense because like H.P. Lovecraft is a fucking racist, and these like tones of xenophobia with cosmic horror kind of go hand in hand. But then it goes a step further. I won't tell you what, like how it goes that way, but like it's like one of those rare things where I wish they had spent more time on it. I think that the lore and the world they're building is really cool, but then it's kind of like a little bit of an exposition dump towards at the end. And I was like, wait, oh shit, like I want more of this. Like there's some really fucked up imagery in the last episode. Like it's really good. I just wish there was more to it because I liked it so much. But it's a really
four episodes at 20 minutes each. That's
it's nothing. It felt like it definitely felt like a very much like experimental thing. Like like let's try this out. And it's successful, but I also wanted more of it just because it was really interesting, like the world and kind of the way it goes, because it did not go the way I expected it to go.
Is it a definite ending? Do you think they could continue?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it feels pretty much like kind of self-contained. I mean, they probably could, like, maybe start a series that, like, had that as a proof of concept and, like, take place, maybe. Okay. That would be awesome if they do something. Have you seen... I know you're not a big anime person. Have you ever watched Paranoia Agent, the Satoshi Kon series that was on Adult Swim? Okay.
No.
It's got twinges of that. Okay. And that's a really good one. That was also Adult Swim. That is, I think, 8 episodes that are a little bit longer, but it's limited series.
Sorry, I'm... for Christmas this year, speaking of anime, 2 of my friends got me a whole bunch of, I think they're called Boy Love, which seems like a really weird thing to say.
Yeah, yaoi.
But like...
Yaoi.
Manly Appetites.
Oh my god, yay! Oh, that's so cute. Is it yaoi?
Yeah. One true pairing, food and boys love. So there's like 2 of those, and then there's this thing called Number 6.
Oh, I've never heard of that before.
Which is also boy love. And then they got me this, I don't even know, what is it called? Given?
Oh,
an anime.
I've never heard of that, actually.
About music students realizing that they're in love with each other.
Sweet.
So I have manga and anime to consume at some point.
Hell yeah. You have like, that's the good, cute, wholesome stuff. And then you have that. That's
Uzumaki.
That's that good shit.
Junji.
But yeah, Housing Complex D is really good. If you are looking for, like, if you're interested in anime and you're looking for something that's horror, but you don't want to, again, anime can be daunting, I think, with, like, some of the, like, everything. This is a really good way to kind of, like, to experience that. I would recommend this.
I kind of wish there was maybe more episodes, but, like, this seems like a good kind of, like...
It's a good, like, okay, cool, you like this, awesome, here's some other cool shit that you can watch that's also limited, a little bit longer. Like, Paranoia Agent is limited, but a little bit longer.
Okay.
And that is one of my all-time favorites. But Satoshi Kon is also one of my all-time favorite, like, directors. And, but yeah. So,
cool.
So, yes, I highly recommend on HBO Max if you have it. And it's a really easy watch. So.
Hell yeah.
So, yes. What Among Us in the Real World? I don't know what this means.
Yeah.
So tell me.
So, we talked last time about how I think we're both a little fried when it comes to movies.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, you know what? This is a good time for me to watch shitty television.
Uh-huh.
And so there's this other reality TV show that is on Peacock called The Traitors.
Oh my god, I have it. I want this on my list because Alan Cumming is the fucking host, and he is. Mwah.
He wears a lot of fantastic attire in this. He is bringing camp sensibility. The idea behind Traitors is it's basically like Among Us. It's or Werewolf.
Okay.
Where it's like I think there's like 20 people. They're all, well, most of them are from other reality TV shows. So there's a couple people from Big Brother that I recognize because that's pretty much the only reality TV show I've seen, really. So there's a couple from Big Brother. Ryan Lochte, the swimmer, is in it.
Oh, okay.
30 Rock reference, though, because he is also in an episode of 30 Rock.
He is. I do know. Hey, I understand that reference.
Hey. So Ryan Lochte's in it. A couple people from Big Brother's in it. Survivor. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Who is it?
Is it Brandy?
Oh my god, it's Brandi Glanville! That bitch.
Yeah, Brandy Glanville.
Of course she is.
This.
Ugh, obsessed. She's the worst and the best.
I think it's Shaw's of something.
Oh, Shaw's of Sunset?
Yeah. There's someone from that. I don't know any of these. But so it's like a lot of them and then a couple non-reality TV people. And they're all in this mansion semi-castle in Scotland. And they're brought here to play different competitions where there's like a prize pot that can be up to $250,000. And the premise is that 3 people of these 20 are traitors, and every episode the traitors pick someone to murder, and then everyone gets together to do a social deduction game to vote off someone in hopes that they get rid of the traitor. If a traitor makes it to the end, they win the entire jackpot. If no traitor makes it to the end, anyone that gets to the end shares the $250,000. I think This is an interesting proof of concept. I'm not done with it yet. I'm about halfway through it.
Okay.
I'm not really a fan of the way they do the kind of competitions because everyone is working together in these competitions, unlike Among Us, where it's like, you're trying to pretend to do the. Everyone's working on it because they want to make their pot a little bit bigger. So it kind of makes it difficult for the people that aren't traitors to figure out who is a traitor because there's really no tells. So okay. So far there hasn't really been a lot of like tension for me of like, oh god, are they gonna vote out the traitor? Because there's no way to really tell who the traitor is because no one's trying to fake do tasks or anything like that because they want the prize pool to be bigger. So, but it's kind of fun. I'm really enjoying the social deduction thing. I'm a huge fan of like that social deduction kind of Werewolf Among Us type of thing. I love watching that, and so I'm enjoying this more than I expected to. But yeah, it's on Peacock. I think it's been renewed for a second season. Hopefully they kind of tweak the format a bit. But I'm enjoying it.
Cool. That's on my list of things to start watching just because it's very much up my alley of dumb, trashy television.
Dumb, trashy television.
That's good to watch for my brain.
Right now, it's really good for my brain.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Okay. Cults?
So I just realized something that I forgot, a movie that I saw that I was wondering if we wanted to talk about. And it's not this one, but it's kind of cult related. And so I wasn't going to talk about Knock at the Cabin because I did not like Knock at the Cabin. But I feel like we should probably briefly touch on it. And I know that you didn't like it either. But I feel like because it is a big release and we both saw it, I feel like I want to touch on it. If you're okay with that?
Yeah, let's do it.
And then I'll shout out the actual cult movie I was talking about that I actually liked, so people can actually watch that. Sorry, I'm lean to the left. I love to lean to the left. It's my favorite. But yeah, so did you hear that?
I did.
Oh my god. Oh shit, yeah, I'm keeping that in the audio.
At least I think I did. It sounded like a pop.
Yeah. So, Knock at the Cabin, M. Night Shyamalan's new movie. It's out, it's something.
It's something.
I feel very #blessed to know Terry and have him be one of the few people I feel like who don't like this movie, because a lot of people are singing its praises, and I this is one of those rare instances where I'm like, I truly don't get it. I don't get it. I don't think it's a bad movie, but I don't think it's a good one. Like, I don't. People say that this is like Shyamalan's best work since The Village or The Signs, and I'm like, were we watching the same movie? From my perspective, I think that it's technically very beautiful. I think that it's very beautiful to look at. I think the performances are pretty interesting and pretty strong. I think the script is a wet fart. I haven't read the book, but I know about the book. I know about the book. And I just think that I am fascinated by Shyamalan's like kind of preoccupation with faith in his films. I haven't done a lot of research about Shyamalan himself and his own kind of religious beliefs and what that kind of like his own personal connection to religion. But like Signs, Mel Gibson is a fucking priest who's trying to find his faith again. Yep. Like The Village isn't about God, but it's about like faith and like it's about faith and kind of like believing in something. And I think there's a lot of stuff that he does, and this movie is. I'm not saying it's like conservative Catholic whatever, but it's very much about belief, and very much, but like not in a way that I think is as nuanced. I don't believe is as nuanced people are saying. I think it is pretty coded as like pretty heavily religious in my opinion. Like, absolutely, it feels very religious. I'm not saying it's conservative, but it's just like it's a weird. Fair enough. Hey, I'm glad that you will, because I mean, like, I know we don't try to trash movies, and like I love M. Night Shyamalan. We all know this. We all know how much of The Village and Signs and The Sixth Sense, and it's just like really disappointing that this is the movie. And I'm glad that people like it. I'm glad it's making a lot of money. Like, that's good for him. But Old was better. The weird campy beach movie was so much better. And I didn't really like that movie. Like, I did. And in my review, it's like, I struggle to articulate this because I feel like it's saccharine, but it's not. Because, like, yeah, there is a lot of fucked up shit happening in this movie. Like, I will not deny the fact that there's some weird shit happening. But it just feels so, like, formulaic in how it's formulaic. Like, as soon as the first thing happens, it's like, cool, so we don't throw, like, any kind of, like, wrench into the system here. Like, great. And I don't know. Like, it just, a lot of choices were made that I feel like really kind of simplified a plot that could have been much more interesting and a much more complex, much more complicated, and much more like, way less obvious than the apocalypse is happening. You know what I mean? Like, I correct me if I'm wrong, but in the book, it's still really ambiguous if anything was actually happening. But here, it's like crystal fucking clear that, like, I think, again, there are people online who are like, there's no way it's crystal clear. I'm like, I feel like they're telegraphing it pretty clearly that, like, the apocalypse is happening. Like, I don't think there's much ambiguity happening. In my humble opinion.
And my humble opinion as well. So Paul Tremblay, one of my favorite horror authors right now.
Purpurina joined, I think, as I was popping my back. That was my back. Yep. Anyway, Paul Tremblay.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one that heard it then. So Paul Tremblay, one of my favorite horror authors. What I love about him is that his books are all about ambiguity. Head Full of Ghosts what is going on? Ambiguous. His latest book, The Pallbearers Club, also ambiguous. What is happening? Mm-hmm. Is there vampires? Is it not? Is it mental health? What is going on here? This book feels prime for the year that it, like the time that it came out, where we are running into Trumpism, we're running into QAnon, we're running into people where you can have people that have these wild thoughts meet and all of a sudden start stewing on it and creating a microcosm of what is happening in this movie. And in the novel, like this idea of kind of end of days fears kind of echoing within like an echo chamber to create the situation where you think something's happening and it might not be happening. So that's what's happening in the book. And the book is very careful to toe the line to make you wonder, is this real? Or are these people delusional? What is going on here? And it walks that fine line through the entirety of the book. But when I was reading it, particularly at the time that I was reading it, I was thinking this is like a perfect representation about what it feels like to be in America right now, where you have all these people that think that there are lizard people, or you think Pizzagate's a thing, or you think that like QAnon is a thing, like all these different things where it's easy to find other people to kind of share that delusion, and then that delusion turns into violence and turns into this kind of perpetuating idea that the apocalypse might be happening, but you might be fucking causing it because you are sharing delusions on a grand scale. And I love that. The book is so fantastic in the way that it handles that. It's also very vicious. Like there's something that happens in the book that does not happen in the movie, and I was like, how is this going to happen in the movie? And it doesn't happen.
Which, like, okay, sorry, but like that's boring to me. Like, are you like, and that's, I think, I'm not saying we have to like have all the most like sad horror movies ever and everything has to be like desperate and sad, but like this is a movie that calls for that. I'm sorry, like this is a plot that calls for that. I think if you're gonna take on this subject matter, you need to go all the way into it. You need to be able to like get fucked up, and it's disappointing it becomes predictable, because I think the book, again, I haven't read it, I read the plot synopsis, so I'm so sorry everybody, I want to read the book, but that's unpredictable to me. Like we're throwing shit out, like we're throwing the rule book out the fucking window about like who is safe and everything, and it's like with the movie it's so basic. Basic.
It's very basic. And I love M. Night Shyamalan. I don't necessarily like every movie that he's put out, but he is someone that I will go see a movie in a movie theater to go support, because I think he does interesting things. He was not the right person to adapt the story.
I agree. He's too bittersweet. He loves like a little bit of like
he's too earnest.
Yes, that's exactly it. He loves a little bit like, well, maybe something good will happen. Like, yeah, everything goes like shit. Like, yeah, all those bad things happen. But, like, there's a little bit of, like, a positive, like, bent on it, I think. So.
And I'm curious to see what the screenplay was before he got a hold of it. I'm curious to see if it was more faithful to the book or not. But I don't think he was the right person to adapt this material. I was really enthralled, like, for the first 40-ish minutes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then it started to nosedive for very hard after that. Yeah. And I left the theater pissed. I was fucking angry when I left this movie. And I still, like, I can't, I have a hard time talking about it because it makes me so riled up on it.
Fair. Literally, a fucking guy slept through 45 minutes of this movie and was snoring. Oh. Snoring. And, like, God. It was an advanced screening, but I think it was one of the advanced screenings that they had for press and also the public.
And also the public, yeah.
And this guy was fucking snoring the whole time, and he was sitting almost right next to me, like, same row as me. And, like, that was the worst. I was like, dude, I'm trying to, like, focus on this shit. And at the end of it, some guy stood up and was like, are you fucking kidding me?
That's how I felt. That is honestly literally how I felt when I was like, I cannot believe that this is what you were doing to a story that thrives on nuance and thrives on ambiguity, and you don't do that? Like, why even fucking adapt the movie then? Do you even understand what the book is about? Like, I was like fucking frustrated when I left this
poor
film.
fucking PR woman who was like, so what do you think? And I was like, mm-mm. She's like, oh, okay. And I was like, what am I supposed to do? It's like 9 p.m. That was not a good time. I did not enjoy myself. Like,
the acting's really good.
it is. And that's the thing. Like, the performances
Dave
are really
Bautista,
good.
Fantastic. Nikki Amuka Bird, who plays Sabrina,
Oh,
fucking kills it.
she does.
My sexuality is Ben Aldridge. I love him. I really enjoyed that first part, and then
that's why this movie I think is so hard, because it's like there's parts there that are really good, and then when it decides to just change the bit entirely and not like commit to the bit, but instead just completely shift the bit, you're like, oh, well, now we're just getting like a fucking like a cookie cutter apocalypse movie.
And now, I'm sorry, spoilers. I'm sorry, I'm just going to throw this out there. Now we have a movie that is thriving on queer pain to avert an apocalypse. Sorry, but that was like the end. I'm like, I'm ready. I'm out. I'm taking my shit and I'm leaving. I can't.
And
I can't.
And like it's a movie that does try to like, I do think that it does try to be like looking at like like it looks at queer pain at first, I thought, in an interesting way of like assimilating and trying to be that family is impossible. And I was like, okay, like there's something here, but it doesn't fucking resolve at all. Like there's no kind of like, it's just so confusing that we have the homophobic attack that is like kind of just happens and like isn't really ever talked about. Like there's just so much happening here. I'm like, okay, are we gonna have something like really interesting to say here about like queer pain, queer assimilation, queer like just trying to like live as a family? And it's just like, no, not really.
No,
it's kind of like sorry. Anyway, the other cult movie I was going to mention that I will briefly mention because it actually is very good is called Daughter by Corey Deshawn.
Okay, was that good? I kept seeing PR stuff for it.
It surprised me. It's filmed entirely on film, so it's got this really grainy texture, and it's like it was filmed before the pandemic, so it has like pandemic vibes, but it was filmed before that, and it's actually a really fascinating look at. Right? Yeah, Casper Van Dien is in it as the lead. And it's just really interesting about like what taking people and having them represent cogs in the patriarchal machine and what it means to try to escape the patriarchal machine. And it's very interesting. It's 4 people in a house and it's very dreamy and weird. And it's an all Vietnamese cast except for Casper Van Dien, which is really cool. And it's very grounded, but very creepy. And so it surprised me. It's one of those movies that like is kind of small and kind of has like a really tiny release, but it's not shockingly, that's incredibly rude. Not shockingly. It surprised me in that like the effectiveness of the tone and just like what it's accomplishing and what it's trying to accomplish. So I wanted to give that a shout out because it's like one of those smaller movies that I feel like not as many people are going to see, and I think that people should give it a shot. It's pretty good.
Purpurina
it's on VOD.
In chat says this sounds like my jam, and it sounds like my jam too. Actually, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I remember really enjoying looking at Casper Van Dien, but I never really thought he was the best actor. So when I saw him in it, I immediately I immediately discounted it, but maybe I should.
He's not bad. He's actually pretty good in this. He's creepy because it's like, he's like super weird, but also he isn't the focus. It's like the other characters. He's like, obviously like he's one of 4 people but he's not bad. I didn't think he was like, I interviewed him about it, and he said,
Deshawn on the show, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
The writer-director?
Oh, yeah. But I was talking to Casper Van Dien, and he was like, he said to me, "Father isn't very happy with you." And I was like, I have tingles in my pants. And he said that to me. I have it recorded forever on my computer. And I was like,
Yes, Daddy.
This is a professional interview. Like, I can't. There is a PR person in here. Like, I have to keep my shit together. It was wild. I was like, is this really happening? It was great. Anyway,
fabulous.
Yeah, but Daughter is really good.
Okay.
I feel it's gonna fall under the radar for a lot of people, but I think it deserves some more love.
Yeah.
But then
we're gonna quickly move through these because
yeah, sorry, I didn't expect to go to Knock at the Cabin, but I was like, we have to talk about it.
I had thought about it as well.
All right, Boy Teddy Goblins.
Boy Teddy Goblins. So this was gosh, where is it? So this was one of my backlog titles that I asked
okay.
patrons to suggest, and I actually believe this one was suggested by Purpurina. I meant to go look it up before we recorded, and then I forgot, but I'm pretty sure this was Purpurina's choice. The Pit, which is from 1981, and it is... Yes, that was her. Okay. This is a movie about a little creepo kid who is kind of a voyeur and is like very obsessed with women. He is a preteen, and he has a teddy that talks to him, a teddy bear. And there's this giant pit about a mile in the forest that has these creatures that he calls tralalogs in it. And
you touch my tralala.
And he brings people that have bullied him out to this pit and tosses them in to be devoured by the tralalogs.
This poster is fucking everything.
The poster,
amazing, terrifying.
The creepy eyes on this kid in this poster, and then the teddy that is like almost shooting lasers out of his eyes. Jamie wouldn't kill anyone unless Teddy told him to. This boy is this horny little bastard that is in love with his babysitter, wants to fuck his babysitter. He is this. I don't even know what to talk about with this movie. This movie is a fucking wild ass film where kids are the worst. There's this moment where the babysitter is giving him a bath, and he asks her, "Do you know why my mother washes me so much? She's really trying to make me clean. Do you like washing me?" He blackmails a teacher to take her top off so he can take a Polaroid of her. Like, this is the main character of this movie, who is then bringing bullies out to the woods to toss them into this pit where monsters that look like a cross between like a Roger Corman meets Critters movie, almost like Humanoids from the Deep meets Critters, are these creatures in this pit, and then they get out at some point. It is it's a wild ass movie. I don't even know what to say about it. I was not expecting what I got. I didn't hate it.
Hell yeah.
I enjoyed it, but boy, is it weird.
The fucking IMDb plot synopsis. Left with a babysitter. A bad boy with a teddy bear finds a pit with 4 hungry monsters.
Yeah. Purpurina
that sounds like a typical night.
When she watched it, it was not sober, and it felt like if a 6-year-old with a decade older sibling was telling me a horror story. Yes. 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 This movie.
Sick.
It's on Shudder as well. So.
And Tubi.
Oh yeah. It's something.
Right.
Edgar Allan Poe?
I'll go through this quickly. I watched The Pale Blue Eye on Netflix,
okay.
The new Scott Cooper movie. Who did Antlers. It stars Christian Bale as a detective who works with a young Edgar Allan Poe, played by Harry Melling, who played Dudley Dursley in those movies about the wizard that people know about. But Harry Melling is a good actor.
Okay.
Good for him. He looks like Edgar Allan Poe too. That was really weird. Steve and I were like, are those his real cheekbones? But basically, it takes place in upstate New York in the winter. It's incredible winter, like winter creepy vibes. There are a series of murders of cadets at this academy, and Christian Bale's character is hired to clandestinely figure out what's going on because the president is wondering why so many of the cadets are dying. And so thus launches a creepy detective story where basically there's these gruesome murders and Christian Bale and Harry Melling are trying to solve it together. So it's a little slow, but I liked the vibes of it until the end. The end is a little bit of a, for me, so there's a twist that I will not spoil, but the twist is something that I absolutely hate in movies. So I was like really vibing with it until the end, and I was like, why'd you gotta do me like that? So it's a personal preference, about like on my end about that stuff, but like it's really well acted, beautifully designed, like the costumes are incredible. The train agrees with me. Yeah, Gillian Anderson, who plays Scully, is in it as like this eccentric mother character in like the most iconic outfits of all time. It takes place in the 1830s, by the way, so it's a period piece, like iconic outfits. I really enjoyed it until the end. It's a little bit slower, but it's got a good just like detective story vibe, and there's like a little bit of occultism going on, and a really good bait and switch. So it's on Netflix. I had a really good time watching it until the end, which was a bummer, but still, I think Scott Cooper has a really good eye for landscapes, especially like rural landscapes.
So this is weird because a number of people in this movie were in the Wizard movies. Timothy Spall is in this, and he was
there's
Toby Jones.
There's a lot of British people in this movie about 1830s New England, and I got really pissed off because Harry Melling is playing Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe is from fucking Baltimore, Maryland. He has a thick Southern accent. We do not have thick Southern...
Baltimore. Sorry.
We do not have thick Southern accents in Maryland. And I know this is someone who has lived here for almost 3 decades. We have weird accents. I do know this. Water. Down the ocean. It's a Baltimore accent, hon. Down the ocean. That's our accent. That's our accent. We have never had Southern accents.
So I know John that Travolta's accent accurate.
John Travolta's accent is ish. I'll give him some credit. He tried to do the Baltimore accent, which is a weird combo of like Philly and it's a whole thing.
Prefer to quote the Raven. Howdy, y'all. Oh my god. I think we just killed Mary Beth.
Yeah.
Just like went into Paula Deen. Howdy, y'all.
The telltale yeehaw. But yeah, so that's The Pale Blue Eye. It's on Netflix if you're looking for something that's like kind of moody, atmospheric period piece. Definitely check it out. And that brings us to Daddy Devon Siwa. I've had Devon Siwa Day.
Sawa, right?
It is Sawa. I just said Siwa because I just decided that that's how you say his name now. All right. Devon Seesaw. Dragon Seesaw. We're just free associating now. Anyway, Devon Sawa. It has been a Devon Sawa day because I watched another movie with him in it.
For Monday.
But we've started season 2 of Chucky, episodes 1 and 2.
Does it make more sense now?
Yes.
Because you had seen out of nothing, you saw the first 2 episodes.
Yeah. No, just the first episode.
Just the first episode.
Part of it, because I was like, I've lost. I don't have any idea what's going on. Like there is no. I was Googling. I was like, there is no amount of Googling and reading on Wikipedia that will save my ass at this point. So I was like, we're just gonna not even.
Because season 2 drops you into the thick of things right where season 1
literally
ends.
Right where it ends.
with Andy driving a truck full of 40 some odd Chucky dolls and one Tiffany, and he ends up driving him off a cliff into an explosion, and that is how the season opens. And when you said back in like October or September, when you said that you had watched the first episode, I was thinking, oh honey, how does this make any sense to you? Because you were not familiar with Child's Play at all, except for the first one, I believe.
I was doing it on what the kids call hard mode.
It drops you into the thick of things.
Yeah, I get it all now. Way more sense. Just way more sense. But we are back with the kids, with our sweet dear, mostly orphaned children, who are going off to their foster homes. Lexi's moved to a smaller place with her mother and sister, but then our two little boyfriends are shipped off to foster care. But only to be reunited again by our boy Chucky. It was not, the separation was not long. What was it, like 6 months or something? 6 months. I think 6 months that was like that passes between these two like parts. Yeah. And I love the set. I love like they have the episode to set it up of like they take their time with it. Mm-hmm. We have like, okay, the kids are in a shitty situation. They're now separate. Like, how do we, like, I was like, all right, cool. How do we bring them back together? Whatever. And we bring them together with the child suicide bomb. I love the show so much. This show is so, hey, M. Night, take a cue from Don Mancini.
Kill the kid. It's really okay.
Kill the kid.
Can you imagine if someone was listening to this with no context?
Steve is probably like, I know that like she's talking about something, but she sounds like a fucking lunatic. But yeah, so like Lexi also now has like an opioid problem. Like she's not doing well.
Not coping too great.
Not coping great. The two boys are in love. And they get to see each other on the weekends. They didn't want to kiss in front of the family, and then they did, and it's just cute. And
homophobic
it's
family.
Like a homophobic family, yeah. Love it, great. But again, this episode the first episode kind of sets it all up with them, and then we go to with the kid blowing himself up. Of course, they're all together, and they're like, "Well, guess where you're going? Go to boarding school, motherfuckers, like reformatory school."
I have 3 questions.
Okay.
1, who was making all of these dolls? Because I looked at my notes, 72 of them on that truck. Who was making all of these dolls?
Okay, see? Now you're thinking like me. Now you're thinking.
The bald Chucky is an icon.
Oh my god, the bald Chucky.
For the 2 seconds he's on the screen. There's a comment that they have all seen Bride of Chucky.
Yes!
And they make a comment that, like, yeah, with Jennifer Tilly, well, who we know is really the Bride of Chucky. So this movie exists in this universe? I have so many questions.
That was one of those moments where I was like, if I think about this too hard, my brain's going to start coming out of my ears, so I have to stop thinking about it. It's a funny little reference, but Jesus Christ, I'm just like, what do you mean you Bride of Chucky exists? And this is all just like an infinite fucking time loop of bullshit. What's happening?
And then finally, I have a feeling that the shrink is involved.
Oh, 100%. The old lady?
Yeah,
the old lady, right? Oh yeah, there's gotta be. She's too weird with the Chucky doll, the bride.
Yeah, because she gives the bride doll to Caroline, the sister, and then by the end of the episode, she is shipping them off to Incarnate Lord, I believe is the name of this place, which is the same boarding school, now religious school, that Chucky went to when he was a kid, that we saw in flashbacks in season 1.
Yeah.
So it's like a full circle moment for that.
I was hashtag gagged when they did that little bit of that little reveal. Yeah. Also love that is Tamara home, the fucking Strangers reference off the bat. I was like, Yes. Oh, I remember that. That was like the one thing I remembered from when I saw it the first. I was like, hey, I get that's the one part of the show I get is the fucking reference to the strangers. So I love this like pretty quick and dirty setup here of just like we separated them, now they're back together. We're not going to waste time like trying to like keep them apart. Like I love that they kind of just immediately
we have 8 episodes. Like, let's go.
Yeah, and like Chucky's has never stopped being a problem. Like there isn't like this like false sense of security and all this shit. So like, so I think it's a really good setup for the next episode where we meet Daddy Sawa. We see Nika in a fucking frilly little outfit with no arms and legs, in the tutu, living with a glam bam Jennifer Tilly Tiffany, with a Godfather reference with a dead Tiffany doll in bed.
She dresses. So we meet after Jennifer Tilly gets out of bed. She's like pushing a cart down the hall to go see Nika, and she looks as if like she is trying to give the mother in Beetlejuice a run for her money in terms of like the outfit.
Oh,
iconic.
The turban, like just Jennifer Tilly is just a queer camp goddess. Like I know like Jennifer Coolidge is like getting a lot of attention right now, but I just think Jennifer Tilly needs to be getting even more attention too. Like they are these two women who are like stereotyped as bimbos, who are actually incredible actors, who have like such pull in the queer community and like know what they're doing, and it's just goddamn, I want them in a horror movie together.
Her line, by the way, Nika's line delivery when Jennifer Tilly comes in there and she's like being all like, "Oh, I love you, you know, we're great, we're all together," and she's like, "You chopped off my arms and legs, you lunatic." Like the way she says it is just like perfect, and then she snaps into the Chucky voice, and I was like, "Oh,
so good." I have such a crush on her. I just want
I do too.
To give her a big old smoochy woochie. Because we find out that her and Chucky are working together now. Like now there's like now Nika and Chucky are partnering against Tiffany. So now we've got like people fighting Tiffany and Chucky, and it's just like everyone's a mess. And like I love that though. I love the chaos. It's got like the dynamics are incredible. Because then you're like, how many dolls are out there still? We don't. We have no idea. Because, well, one shows up in this next episode. One shows up at the school. Mm-hmm. Daddy Sawa is with the doll and is like,
by the way,
give unto the Lord. And I was like,
I never knew that I needed...
I can give some stuff to the Lord if you want to.
Me too. Let me make it to...
Make it to... Finish that thought!
I'm just going to say something different. I never knew that I needed a bearded, glasses Devon Sawa in my life. How's that?
In a priest collar.
In a priest collar. Oh. Dear Lord, have I sinned.
Anyway.
Confession
reset.
Time?
On my knees. Anywho, what's happening? Well, now I'm flustered and can't remember what I was gonna say. Well, so we have. I feel like I know what y'all think about when the guided meditation tells you to go to your happy place now.
That's fair.
But despite him being like very attractive. The religious horror vibes that are happening, like the scary, weird vibes, are immediately like on like up, like cranked up, because we obviously have like Devon Sawa's character giving these like sermons about the Lord and needing to give yourself to the Lord and Jesus Christ and confession, like all that shit. But then we also see the students that have been there for a long. And then Lexi runs into someone that she knew that was sent there by her mom, and as she makes a hilarious joke about his single testicle, he and his cronies are like, "We don't like. I'm so sorry. I hurt you when you were young." Like very weird robot brainwash, like Christian cult vibes. So there's something, I think there's something going on. Well, there is obviously like something going on here. And I'm curious if it's linked to Chucky or if it's separate. Like, I'm curious how it all ties together.
Me too.
Obviously, because Chucky lived at that school, I'm curious like how that is all going to connect. Because there's something really fucking weird going on with, like, I mean, we've seen Cult of Chucky. Like, are we going to, like, is it going to kind of be, like, an expansion on that? I don't know.
Right.
But
what I also like, though, about this is that this feels almost as if Don Mancini is trying to kind of redo Child's Play 3.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Okay.
Because that was military school, and now we have, like, a reform school. And it has similar vibes in terms of that, except more religious instead of military. And so I'm like, because Child's Play 3 is, like, the least liked of the entire series, and I'm wondering, is this an attempt?
That's interesting. I like that. That's it. Yeah, all right.
We also get introduced to Nadine.
Oh, yeah, Nadine.
Little klepto.
I love
hair,
her. Yes, I love her. I know, the red hair. We always love, like, I'm the teacher who had the red hair last season. I'm like, it's always a red fucking herring. I'm like, redhead. Watch out for that little redhead. But we also see Chucky give a nun a fucking heart attack.
I love that moment. She's like, boo. It's like, oh, thank you.
Vampire? I was just like, oh my god. I was like, thanks. Like, all right, cool. Like, oh, man.
It feels like they have a bigger budget with the Chucky doll effects. They
yes,
look better
it definitely. They look way better. And not that was bad either.
No, just
I never
more
thought
animated.
they looked bad, but it's interesting that they do look way more animated. So I'm excited to see where this goes with the creepy school and the weird culty
briefly
kids.
Get teased with Glenn and Glenda.
Oh yeah, with their fucking pink car.
And they/them.
I'm so excited for them to be revealed in the show next episode.
Me too. Oh, I'm so glad we're doing this.
Me too. It's so good. Well, next week we are continuing on with episodes 3 and 4 of Chucky season 2. So continue to watch along, or if you can, please continue to watch along. And then
who are we chatting with on Monday? Oh.
I'll say it. I'll do it. I know you don't. I'll do it. On Monday, we are talking with Cooper Koch. Yes, on Monday we are talking with Cooper Koch. He plays Benjamin in Carter Smith's new film Swallowed, which is out on VOD today as of the publishing of this episode, not during the live stream, but on Friday. And he brought with him Final Destination. Someone finally brought Final Destination to the pod.
Which, spoiler alert, was the first time that Mary Beth has seen Final Destination?
Yep, any Final Destination.
And I'm wondering if we want to watch all the Final Destinations next.
Yeah, fucking, yeah. Get my ass to do it. It's the only way to get me to do it. And I like doing it, so yeah.
That's what I'm
Just
wondering.
make Mary and Beth watch all of the franchises. And good, as you should. As I should be forced to do. As I should be forced to do.
I mean, some of these are hit or miss, so it's not as if we're going to get some great ones out of this, but there's some good ones.
I like having the context. Remember when we watched all the Wrong Turn movies? Terry, we can't do any worse than that. We watched all of those movies.
And
most of them are bad.
Oh. Yeah.
I thought about that the other day, and I was like, oh my god, we watched so many Wrong Turn movies. How did we do that? For content. Anyway. So listeners, you've heard from us. We want to hear from you. Did you watch something that we watched this week and have thoughts? Do you have suggestions for things that we should be watching? You can send us an email at scarredforlifepodcast@gmail.com, or you can reach out to us directly on Twitter. I'm at MB McAndrews.
I'm at Gaily Dreadful, and this might actually be our longest little cuts ever.
Yeah, I think I went on the Cabin in the Woods rant. Sorry, not Cabin in the Woods, not at the fucking whatever. Cabin in woods.
There's a cabin and there's woods, and there's a knock.
Knocking at the cabin. Shit, follow us on Twitter at Scarred Podcast. If Twitter works again, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
And please don't forget to review, rate, and subscribe. If you did not watch this episode, you missed me basically making Mary Beth leave the recording studio, it felt like at one point.
Yes, the recording studio.
Yes, aka her apartment.
My office.
Her office. You don't want to miss. Yeah. So support us on Patreon. You could be watching this live with us, like Purpurina and some other people have done. And there's videos episodes, and you also can get this month's Fresh Wound episode, which is live now on Lake Mungo.
So much content.
All the content
for you. Thank you to Eric Power for artwork. Thank you to Sean Keller for music. Thank you everyone for listening. Please stay safe out there. Most importantly, stay creepy.
And until next time.